This is an analysis of the first trailer of the highly anticipated Dragon's Dogma 2, which was presented at the PlayStation Showcase 2023. This is a short trailer, but it contains a lot of details that veteran Arisen might notice. It also contains minor bits of information about new additions to gameplay and the world, among other things. We could also speculate on the game's story, but I believe it is not very rational with so little information and source material. In this video, you'll learn about possible new gameplay changes and additions, the world, the creatures, and more. So let's get into it. One of the simpler things from the first game that instantly intrigued me immensely was a brilliant and deep quote by Henri de Régnier, who was an important symbolist poet, Le plaisir délicieux. D'une occupation inutile. It translates to, the delightful and ever novel pleasure of a useless occupation. Of course, the ones who finished the game and understood much of it will quickly get what this quote was meant to say and what it was foreshadowing. A similar quote by another great French author appeared in the recent trailer. It translates to conviction is the human will that reaches its greatest power. This is a quote by one of the pioneering realism writers in European history, Honoré de Balzac. I am sure that the meaning of this quote will resonate in the game's story as Régnier's quote did in the first game. Right in the beginning of the trailer, when they showcase the game's title, you can easily notice a tower that looks strikingly similar to the Blue Moon Tower, a place many an old Arisen will be rather familiar with. It's situated to the north of Grand Sorin, and you could reach it by traversing through the narrow Windworn Valley. We cannot be exactly sure if this is the same tower we saw in the recent trailer for Dragon's Dogma 2, but it bears a striking similarity. However, it appears that the direction in which we see the tower is not the same as the direction in which we saw it in the first game. It appears as if we were seeing the tower from behind or in some other direction. This leads me to believe that the game will include a new area other than Granzies alone. Or maybe another region that was cut from the original Dragon's Dogma. But once you revisit the Blue Moon Tower from the first game, you may think it's reasonable to speculate that the tower we saw in the trailer could also be another place that looks similar. Observe the following screenshot from the original game. With how the Blue Moon Tower is situated here, one would think it's nigh impossible to catch such a clear view of it from another land. In the end, we can only speculate so far, and it remains to be seen if it really is the Blue Moon Tower or another altogether new location.
Then have you forgotten that you protected me from the dragon's flames?
You need only believe in your own destiny, Arisen.
Of course, that begs the question. If he's a mere mummer, then where might our...
The classes I recognize from the trailer are Fighter, Warrior, Magic Archer, Strider/Assassin and Sorcerer/Mage. All of these classes were seen in the first game, but I have reasons to believe that Dragon's Dogma 2 will also include a few new classes.
True, Arisen. Empress Nadinia's life is in your...
In the trailer, we see characters of different races that weren't featured in the first game. For example, many characters with dark skin are noticeable and may be prominent characters in the story. Possibly the most notable race is the feline characters that look similar to the Khajiits from the Elder Scrolls franchise. A variety of races will undoubtedly make the game more three-dimensional and deeper. It might even be possible for us to create characters of various races, but that remains to be seen.
Praise be, for only the Sovereign's guidance can lead us true. Long live the Sovereign of Vermont!
Fortunately for every player, we'll be able to explore a new city in Dragon's Dogma 2. If you go back to the previous section of this video starting around the 1-minute mark, you will no doubt notice a city with tall bridges that resemble ancient Roman architecture that apparently lead in and out of the settlement. While one could think that this is Grand Sorin at first glance, looking carefully reveals that it looks rather different. In the following screenshot, you can clearly see that it's indeed a new location, as the majestic statue of a warrior was seen in no place in the first game. Speaking of the statue, let's attempt to understand what it is. It looks to me like a warrior who's beheading a draconic creature, maybe even a true worm like Grigory. The trailer shows off multiple creatures we have experienced fighting in the first game, and also a few new ones that I personally can't wait to test my might against. As seen with the fights against a griffin and an ogre, The iconic and badass ability to climb onto foes and deliver damage to weak spots returns in Dragon's Dogma 2. We also saw a golem. Other common creatures like goblins were also present in the game, and I personally am happy to see that their appearance hasn't changed a lot from how they looked in the original. A notable monster from the trailer is the creature that strongly resembles Medusa from Greek mythology. As Dragon's Dogma also included many monsters from various world mythologies, it is not surprising to see a Medusa appear in the game. Possibly, her gaze will make the Arisen and his pawns suffer from petrification. Harpies and succubi were featured in the first game, but a certain majestic specimen from the trailer is much larger than the ones we see in the original game. This leads me to believe that this is a new creature based on the Harpy family. Nonetheless, it's quite interesting to see new enemies.
That is most unfortunate. But it don't.
The following shot apparently shows a ruler of sorts. Maybe he's like Duke Edmund Dragonsbane from the first game. He's also wearing a glowing pendant that clearly has magical properties.
Not release thee from thy fate.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming to PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and follow our YouTube channel.